Next, I am going to discuss about vertical projection. That is, I am going to discuss about the equations of motion for a body projected vertically upwards with some initial loss to u. So that the body moves only under influence of gravity after projection. So in the problems in one-dimensional motion, when the body moves in a straight line path, we can choose all the vector quantities which are directed in one direction as positive and vector quantities directed in the opposite direction as negative. Earlier I have discussed equations of motion for a body falling vertically downwards under influence of gravity. For a body falling vertically downwards under influence of gravity, velocity, displacement and acceleration are directed in the same direction, that is vertically downwards. So we give positive sign for all quantities when all vector quantities are directed in the same direction. So in the problems in one-dimensional motion, if one of the vector quantities is supposed directed opposite to the other quantities, then if we give positive sign for vector quantities in one direction, we have to give negative sign for vector quantities in the opposite direction. If you consider the case of a body which is projected vertically upward with initial loss to u, the displacement of the body will be directed vertically upwards until the body returns to the point of projection. The velocity of the body will be directed vertically upwards before it reaches the highest point, at any instant before it reaches the highest point. But the acceleration of the body will be directed vertically downwards. If it moves only under influence of gravity after projection, then acceleration of the body can be taken as equal to the acceleration due to gravity, which acts vertically downwards. So if you give positive sign for the initial velocity and displacement, which are directed vertically upwards, we can give negative sign for the acceleration directed vertically downwards. Let us suppose a body is projected vertically upwards from the point A with initial velocity u. The point A is called point of projection. It is not necessary for you to copy the notes continuously. You need not write running notes when I am discussing. Later I will show you the summary of the conclusions and discussions. Then you can write the notes if you are interested. Write the notes when I show you the printed form of the or summary of the print of the summary of all the conclusions. So let A denote the point of projection. That means the point from where the body begins to move vertically upwards, starting with initial velocity u, so that it moves only under influence of gravity after projection. So if the maximum height to which the body rises above the point of projection, if it is negligibly small compared to the radius of the earth, then acceleration of the body can be assumed to be constant, equal to the acceleration due to gravity, which acts vertically downwards. So we choose the upward direction as positive direction. So vertically downward direction as a negative direction for vector quantities. So we can write acceleration A equal to minus g. So the equations of motion for one-dimensional motion with uniform acceleration are v equal to u plus at, s equal to ut plus half at square, etc. As you know, if you substitute a equal to minus g, the velocity of the body at time t after projection, we get v equal to u minus gt. In the equation s equal to ut plus half at square, if you substitute a equal to minus g, displacement measured from point of projection at time t after projection is s equal to ut minus half gt square. In this equation, S is the displacement measured from point of projection or from initial position, not the distance covered. In the third equation of motion, V square minus square equal to A. So if you substitute A equal to minus G, you get V square minus square equal to minus 2GS. Let B be the highest point at which the velocity of the body becomes 0. So if you put V equal to 0 in the equation 1, you can find the time taken to reach the highest point called time of ascent. If you denote time of ascent by T subscript A, at T equal to A, V equal to 0. You substitute these values in the first equation, you get time of ascent equal to U by G, means time taken to reach the highest point. When the body returns to the point of projection, net displacement will be 0. If capital T is the time taken by the body to return to the point of projection, we can write at small t equal to capital T, S equal to 0. So if you use the second equation, you can substitute S equal to 0 on the left hand side at small t equal to capital T. To simplify this, you get capital T equal to U by G. Capital T represents the time taken by the body to return to the point of projection. That is time of motion from A to B and then back to A. The time taken to return from highest point to the point of projection is called time of descent. So time of flight is equal to time of ascent plus time of descent. So time of descent is equal to time of flight minus time of ascent. So time of flight you can write 2U by G, time of ascent is U by G. So time of descent also, you get time of descent to be same as time of ascent equal to U by G, or half of the time of flight. Time of descent means it is the time taken to return from highest point to the point of projection. The maximum height reached by the body above the point of projection are denoted by capital letter H. So at the highest point V is 0, velocity is 0. But acceleration is constant throughout the motion. So if you put V equal to 0 on the left hand side in equation number 3, when S equal to H. So at the highest point S equal to capital H and V is 0. So from third equation you can find the maximum height reached above the point of projection by substituting V equal to 0 on the left side and S equal to H. So maximum height reached above the point of projection is given by U square by 2G. In some of the problems, we express this maximum height in terms of the time of flight. So next I would like to discuss how we can express maximum height in terms of the time of flight. The same expression will also be later used in the case of projectile motion, in the case of oblique projection. So in the case of vertical projection, time of flight is equal to U by G. So initial velocity U, magnitude of initial velocity U, can write G into T by 2. So maximum height reached is given by U square by 2G, or you can write U square into 1 by 2G. You can substitute U equal to GT by 2. So that will be G square T square by 4 into 1 by 2G. So maximum height reached in terms of the time of flight can be written as H equal to G into capital T square by 8. Now, during the upward motion, the magnitude of velocity decreases until it reaches highest point. The highest point velocity is 0. During downward motion, magnitude of velocity increases. So the time taken by the body to move between 2 points during the upward motion will be same as the time taken by the body to move between the 2 points during the downward motion. All the results I have discussed earlier can also be used even for part of the motion above a particular point. When the body is projected vertically upward with initial velocity from the point A, so time taken to reach the highest point, that is time of motion from A to B, we have written U by G. The same way, let P be a point in its path. Let V1 be the magnitude velocity at the point P. If you consider the motion above the point P, then you can consider P as the initial position of the body. And initial velocity at P equal to V1. Then time of ascent for motion above the point P means time taken to move from point P to the highest point B equal to V1 by G. That means instead of U, we have taken V1 as initial velocity. So maximum height reached above the point of projection is U square by 2G. That means distance from A to B, we have written as U square by 2G. The similar way, the vertical distance from P to B can be written as V1 square by 2G. So again, you listen here. A is the point of projection and U is the initial at the point of projection. B is the highest point at which velocity becomes 0. The time taken by the body to move between 2 points during the downward motion is same as the time taken during the upward motion between the same 2 points, because acceleration is constant throughout the motion, which is equal to the acceleration due to gravity. The acceleration acts vertically downwards throughout the motion, irrespective of whether the body is moving upwards or downwards. Even mathematically, you can prove that time of motion for downward motion between 2 points, same as the time of motion for upward motion between the same 2 points. Suppose if the body moves from a point C to the highest point B in the last 1 second of its upward motion, or last 1 second of ascent. Of course, my present discussion is valid only if the time of ascent is more than 1 second. The time of ascent is equal to U by G, that will be more than 1 second only when the value of U is numerically greater than G. The value of U is numerically greater than G. Then distance covered in the last 1 second during the upward motion will be same as the distance covered during the first 1 second during downward motion. For a free leap from B to C, the body falls freely under gravity in 1 second. Distance covered by freely falling body in time t is given by s equal to half g square. So distance BC is equal to the distance covered during the first 1 second during the descent. That is numerically equal to g by 2. That means if the initial velocity is numerically greater than g, so the time of ascent is more than 1 second, then the distance covered during the last second of upward motion or ascent is same as the distance covered during the first 1 second during descent, which is numerically equal to g by 2. Whatever may be the initial velocity projection, provided u is numerically greater than g, provided time of ascent is more than 1 second. Let P be a point in its path at a height small h above the point of projection. The body passes through the point P at 2 instants of time after projection. The body passes through the point P first time. Let us suppose the body passes through the point P first time at t equal to t 1 second after projection. That means this t1 is the time taken to move from A to P. Displacement s equal to h at t equal to t1. The body again passes through the same point P second time during the downward motion. That means at t equal to t2, t2 represents the time of motion from A to B and then back from B to P. At both the instants, it will have same displacement. That means displacement at t equal to t1 measured with respect to the point of projection. That means here we start counting time when the body is projected from the point A. That means the body is projected from the point A at t equal to 0. So t equal to t1, it passes through point P in the upward motion during the upward journey. At t equal to t2 seconds after projection, it will be passing through point P in the downward direction. Both the instants, it will have same displacement because initial position is A and final position is P at t equal to t1. Even at t equal to t2, the final position is the same, P. So displacement is same at both the instants of time t equal to t1 and t equal to t2, respectively after projection. Use the formula s equal to ut plus half at square. You can take a equal to minus g as t equal to t1. You can write h equal to ut1 minus half gt1 square. At the second instant of time, s equal to ut2 minus half gt2 square. Left hand side is same, so right hand side can be equated. So you can write ut1 minus half gt1 square is equal to ut2 minus half gt2 square. So if you can collect the terms containing acceleration due to gravity to the left hand side and terms containing initial velocity to the right side. t2 square minus t1 square. You can write t2 minus t1 into t2 plus t1. So you can cancel t2 minus t1 both sides. So t1 plus t2 equal to g into t1 plus t2 by 2 equal to u. So t1 plus t2 equal to 2u by g. 2u by g gives you the time of flight. So t1 plus t2 equal to capital T. That means if a body projected vertically upwards, suppose found at a point P, at the instance of time t equal t1 and t equal t2 respectively after projection, then time of flight is given by capital T equal t1 plus t2. Here both the values t1, t2 are measured from the point of projection. That means t1 is the time taken to move from A to P during upward motion. T2 is the time taken to move from A to B and then from B to P. So you can substitute the value of u in terms of T1 and T2, this value of u in one of these equations. You can substitute, for example, in this equation to find h in terms of T1 and T2. H you can write u T1 minus half g T1 square. We'll substitute this value of T here. G into T1 plus T2 by 2. This is the value of u into T1 minus g T1 square by 2. Can simplify this. G T1 square plus g T2 T1 minus g T1 square. G T1 square gets cancelled. So I get the conclusion as h equal to half g T1 T2. That means, in general, if a body is projected, if you consider a body projected vertically upwards with initial velocity u from a point A at t equal to 0, then if the body is found at the same point P at the instance of time t equal to t1 and t equal to t2 respectively after projection, then time of flight is t1 plus t2. And height of the point P above the point of projection is given by small h equal to half gt1 t2. So these two conclusions we directly use in some of the problems. We discuss similar conclusions even in the case of oblique projection of a projectile later. Then there is one more conclusion which I would like to discuss. Again, let us consider the body projected vertically upwards with initial velocity from the point A. Here A is the point of projection, B is the highest point. Let P be the point at which its velocity becomes equal to half of the initial value. And during the upward motion, let us find the height of this point P above the point of projection. To use the equation V square over square equal to AS, I would like to find the height above the point of projection at which velocity becomes equal to half of the initial value. So substitute V equal to U by 2 here and A equal to minus G on the right side. So you get 3 by 4 times U square by 2G. U square by 2G gives you the maximum height reached above the point of projection. That means the velocity of the body becomes equal to U by 2 at the instant when it is at 3 by 4th of the maximum height. You can also find the time after projection at which velocity becomes equal to U by 2. So I can take V equal to U by 2 here during upward motion when it passes through point P in the upward direction. A equal to minus G. So you will simplify this. Gt equal to U minus U by 2 or T equal to U by 2G or T equal to half of the time of ascent. That means the conclusion which we sometimes may use directly in some of the questions is that if a body is projected vertically upward with initial velocity U such that it moves only under influence of gravity after projection, and the velocity of the body becomes equal to U by 2 at the instant when it is at 3 by 4th of the maximum height, or velocity of the body becomes equal to U by 2 at the instant equal to half of the time of ascent during upward motion. Of course, magnitude of velocity of the body at a point P in its path will be same at both the instant it passes through point P. Suppose if the body has a velocity of 10 meters per second at the point P during the upward motion, then magnitude of velocity of the body at the point P when it passes through the point P in the downward direction will also be 10 meters per second. Now I would like to summarize the whole discussion so far I have done about vertical projection. I would like to show you the summary of all the equations and conclusions of the discussion. So those who are interested to write the notes, they can write the notes later when I show you the type of notes on the screen. You can take a pause wherever you want to write the notes. You can take a pause and write the notes. So later I will discuss some problems on vertical projection after showing you the notes, summary of the conclusions. So I am going to show you the summary of the discussion I have done about vertical projection. Those who are interested to write the notes, they can take a pause wherever they want, some time to write the notes, then copy the notes. So I am showing the summary of the discussion. Consider a body projected vertically upwards with initial velocity U, which moves only under influence of gravity after projection. Its acceleration A equal to minus G. The equations of motion are, first one V equal to U minus gt, that means velocity at time t after projection. It's given by V equal to U minus gt. Second equation is S equal to ut minus half g square, that is the displacement. S is the displacement from point of projection at time t after projection. Third equation of motion is V square minus square equal to minus 2gs. Here V is the velocity at a height S above the point of projection. And displacement covered in nth second is numerically equal to U plus A by 2 into 2n minus 1 as I discussed earlier, but here I have taken A equal to minus G. Here Sn represents the displacement covered during the nth second. Time taken to reach the highest point equal to u by g. Time taken to return to the point of projection or time of flight is given by capital T equal to u by g. Time of descent is equal to time of ascent equal to u by g. So those who are interested, write the notes. They can take a pause and copy these conclusions. Maximum height reached above the point of projection is given by capital H equal to u square by 2g, or in terms of time of flight you can write capital H equal to small g into capital T square by 8. If u is greater than g numerically, the distance covered during the last second of ascent same as the distance covered during the first second of descent, which is numerically equal to j by 2. Suppose if you are given g as 9.8 meter per second square, then distance covered during the last second of ascent is equal to 4.9 meters. If you are given g as 10 meter per second square, then distance covered during the last second of ascent or upward motion is equal to 5 meters, irrespective of the initial velocity projection, if u is more than 10 meter per second. Velocity of the body becomes u by 2 at 3 by 4th of the maximum height or at half of time of ascent. The magnitude of velocity at a point p in its path will be same at both the instants t equal t1 and t equal t2. It passes through that point p. The body is found at a point p at the instance of time t equal t1 and t equal t2 respectively after projection. Then time of flight is given by capital T equal to small t1 plus small t2. The height of the point p above the point of projection is given by small h equal to half g t1 t2. Next, I would like to show you a problem on the screen. A body is projected vertically upwards with initial velocity u. Find the velocity of the body at the instant when it is at a distance of 5 meters below the highest point. Take g as 10 meters per second square. Let A be the point of projection from where it is projected vertically with initial velocity u. Let B be the highest point. Let P be the point at the instant when it is at a distance of 5 meters below the highest point. You have to find the velocity at P. Let V1 be the velocity at P. Because you are not given the distance from A to P, you are not given the distance from A to B also. To find distance from A to B, you should calculate the maximum height. So, okay, but you know the distance from P to B, therefore we consider the motion from P to B. So, if you use the equation V square minus square equal to AS for motion from P to B, or we can also write the same equation Vf square minus Vi square equal to AS. Vi is the initial velocity at P, that is I have denoted by V1, which you have to find. Vf is the final velocity at the highest point B, which is equal to 0. Displacement for upward motion from P to B is 5 meters. The acceleration is equal to minus g, which is equal to minus 10 meter per second square. So if you use this equation for upward motion from P to B, you can write 0 square minus V1 square. 28 is minus 10 meter per second square. And that's equal to 5 meters. You simplify this, you get V1 equal to 10 meter per second. That's the answer. If you want to copy the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. See the next question. Body projected vertically upwards has a velocity of 19.6 meter per second at the instant when it is at 4 by 5th of the maximum height. Find the maximum height reached above the point of projection. Take g equal 10 meter per second square. Let A be the point of projection from where it is projected vertically upward with some initial velocity. Let B be the highest point reached at which final velocity becomes 0. Let capital H denote the maximum height reached above this point of projection. So here A is the point of projection. Let P be the position of the body at the instant when it is at 4 by 5th of the maximum height reached. The velocity at P is given to be, I denote velocity at P as V1. That is given to be 19.6 meter per second. So you can consider the motion from P to B. For motion from A to B, maximum height H is given to be U square by 2G. The same way, maximum height reach above the point P can be written as V1 square by 2G. So maximum height reached above the point P, that is a vertical distance from P to B, is equal to V1 square by 2G. So distance from A to B is equal to maximum height H. So distance from A to P is 4 by 5th of the maximum height. So the remaining distance from P to the highest point B will be equal to H minus 4 by 5th of the maximum height. That is equal to V1 square by 2G. So on the left hand side, 1/5 of the maximum height reached above the point of projection. You get V1 square by 2G. So maximum height reached above the point of projection will be 5V1 square by 2G. Here V1 is the magnitude of velocity at the point P, which is given to be 19.6 meter per second. G is given to be 9.8 meter per second square. So you get 5 into 19.6 or 98 meters is answer. Or otherwise you can also solve this problem by the method I have followed for the previous problem. Then we can also solve this problem by using the equation V square minus square equal to AS or Vf square minus Vi square equal to AS for upward motion from P to B. That is the same manner which I have done the earlier problem. You can also solve this problem by the earlier method. But this will be a more easier method. If you want to copy the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. See the question number 3. A body projected vertically upward from the top of a tower with a velocity of 9.8 meter per second. Strike the ground with velocity of magnitude 49 meter per second. If g equal to 9.8 meter per second square, then find the time taken by to reach the ground. So the initial velocity u is directed vertically upwards. Let A be the point of projection. Let B be the highest point at which the velocity becomes 0. Let C be the position of the body just before it strikes the ground. Let C be the position of the body just before it strikes the ground. The magnitude of velocity at C is given to 49 meter per second. So magnitude of the initial velocity at A is given to be 9.8 meter per second, which is directly vertical upwards. So if you consider the entire motion under gravity from A to B and then to C, the acceleration is constant throughout the motion. The acceleration of the body is constant throughout the motion, irrespective of whether it is moving upwards or downwards. If you give positive sign for initial velocity in the upward direction, you must give negative sign for the final velocity which is directed vertically downwards. So initial velocity is 9.8 meter per second, directed vertically upwards. The acceleration is directed vertically downwards. So we write A equal to minus G. That is equal to minus 9.8 meter per second square. The final velocity at C is equal to 49 meter per second but directed downwards. So we give negative sign for that. You have to find the time taken for entire motion under influence of gravity. During the entire motion, acceleration is constant, both in magnitude and direction. You have to select the equation in terms of these four letters, V, A, V, T. You can observe that you are not given the height of the tower and you are not asked to find the height of the tower. That means you are not given the displacement and you are even not asked to find the value of displacement S. Therefore, you try to select the equation which does not involve the letter S. That is V equal to U plus ET. You can use the equation V equal to U plus. Come on, copy down the solution of this problem and substitute all the values, simplify it yourself. Come on, substitute all the values and simplify it. If you want to copy the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of this problem. So V equal to minus 49 meter per second, U is equal to 9.8 meter per second, A equal to minus 9.8 meter per second square into T. So divide with 9.8 here, get minus 5 equal to 1 minus T. So you will get time of motion in seconds here. Each term will be. So you'll get time taken to reach the ground, you'll get 6 seconds. So answer is 6 seconds. If you want to copy the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of this problem. Say the question number 4. A body projected vertically upwards at t equal to 0 is found at a point P at the instance of time t equal to 2 seconds and t equal to 8 seconds respectively after projection. Find the height of the point P and the maximum height reached above the point of projection. So here we can solve the problem by using one of the conclusions which I have shown you in the summary of the results. So in general, if a body projected vertically upwards at t equal to 0 is found at a point P at the instance of time t equal to t1 and t equal to t2 respectively after projection, then the time of flight is given by t1 plus t2. And height of the point P above the point of projection is given by small h equal to half g t1 t2. Here g is 10 meter per second square, t1 equal to 2 seconds, t2 equal to 8 seconds. So you get height of the point P above the point of projection, you get the answer as 80 meters for first part of question. So the time of flight is given by t1 plus t2. That is 2 plus 8 seconds or 10 seconds. Maximum height reached above the point of projection. In terms of the time of flight, can be written as g into capital T square by 8. G is here 10 meter per second square. Capital T is 10 seconds. This we can simplify it. So you get maximum height reached above the point of projection as 125 meters. This is the answer. So if you want to copy the solution of this problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of this problem. I would like to solve this problem by another method also. I mean the method which you have to use in case if you are given a similar problem in board examination. So here let A be the point of projection from where the body is projected vertically upwards with certain initial loss to u. Let B be the highest point at which velocity becomes 0. The body is found at a point P in its path at the instants of time t equal 2 seconds and t equal to 8 seconds respectively after projection. So time taken for upward motion from A to P is 2 seconds. It is found at the same point where t equal to 8 seconds. That means that 8 seconds includes the time of ascent for upward motion from A to B and time of downward motion from B to P. That is 8 seconds. So therefore time of flight means time taken to return to the point of projection is equal to time taken from to move from A to B and then B to P plus time taken for downward motion from P to A. Time taken for entire motion from A to B to P. That means the time after projection, it passes to the point P. The downward direction will be 8 seconds. The time taken for downward motion from P to A will be same as the time it has taken to move upward from A to P during ascent, which is equal to 2 seconds. This time of flight you can write 2u by g. That is equal to 10 seconds. So therefore initial velocity u equal to 10 seconds into g is 10 meter per second square by 2. So you get initial velocity projection at 50 meter per second. Then to find the height of the point P above the point of projection, use the equation s equal to ut plus half at square. If you use the formula s equal to ut plus half at square for motion from A to P, displacement s equal to h, small h, which represents height of the point. Initial velocity use 50 meter per second for upward motion from A to P. The time taken is 2 seconds. So you have to take t equal to 2 seconds. The acceleration A equal to minus g, that is minus 10 meter per second square, and t is 2 seconds. All units are SI system. So you get the same answer which I discussed earlier. That is 80 meter. And maximum height reached above the point of projection, usually denoted by capital letter H. That is given by u square by 2g. Here u is 50 meter per second. G can take 10 meter per second square. So this you can simplify this. That comes out to 125 meters. That is the answer for second part of the question. Why I have discussed this alternate method is keeping in view of the board examination. Suppose in case we are given similar problem in intermediate public examination or any other board examination, you have to solve the problem by using the conclusions or results given in the textbook. Therefore, the previous method can be used only for objective type of examination, whereas for board examination, you have to follow this alternate method. Of course, you will not have two methods for every problem. Only for selected questions, we may discuss alternate methods. Say the question number 5. Body projected vertically upwards covers a distance of 30 meters in a particular second. What is the distance covered by it during the next second? That is first part question. Second part question, previous second. As I discussed in the past, in the case of one-dimensional motion with uniform acceleration, displacement covered in n plus 1th second minus displacement covered in nth second is numerically equal to a. That is independent of n. That means difference between displacement covered in successive seconds is numerically equal to the acceleration. So in general, if a body moving in a straight line path with uniform acceleration of a meter per second square covers the displacement of d meter in a particular second, then displacement covered next second is numerically equal to d plus a. And displacement covered in the previous second is numerically equal to d minus a. So here in the first problem, in each problem you have to take A equal to minus G. So displacement curve next second is numerical D plus A equal to minus G. That means displacement curve next second is numerical equal to D minus G. Here D is equal to 30 and G equal to 10. Therefore, answer will be 20 meters for the first part question. Displacement covered in the previous second is numerically equal to D minus A. Here A equal to minus G. So displacement covered in previous second will be numerically equal to D plus G. That is 30 plus 10 or 40. So for second part of the question, answer is 40 meters. In case you want to copy the working, you can take a pause and copy the working. In the next class, I will be discussing some special cases in vertical projection.